going on YouTube? Welcome back to Beemer Fam. You guys join us here with my BMW M4 in the beautiful mountains just outside of Los Angeles. If you guys haven't seen the last video, we did a building my dream BMW M4 in 10 minutes, which is basically a compilation of all the modifications I've installed on this car over 2.5 years of ownership in one video. You guys showed a lot of love on that last video. I mean, the video's already at almost 100,000 views already in just a couple of days. But more importantly, you guys left a lot of comments and engagement on that video, so I really appreciate that. Some requested comments from you guys in the last video was to do a cost breakdown on how much this build costs. So with less being said, let's get right into today's video. So first and foremost, let's start off with the front of the car. So if you guys remember that these kidney grills right here were initially chrome, we changed them to satin black to match the wheels. This cost us about $200, and keep in mind, all these parts I'm gonna list, some of them are gonna be with installation, some are gonna be without. Luckily, this was a quick and easy DIY install. It took me about half an hour to do, but I will say for kidney grills for BMWs, these are actually pretty expensive. You can expect to pay $50 to $100 for most of just regular black kidney grills for just a regular BMW, but these F-Gen M cars, they seem to have gone up in price. When I bought the car, there was no front splitter of any sort, so we went ahead and added the same exact splitter from the BMW M4 CS. So you can get the plastic one for much cheaper than the carbon fiber one, but I think the carbon fiber one stands out much more than the plastic. It really pops, especially with the white paint. You really notice that carbon fiber much more. For the OEM part, it will cost you over $1,000 for just this splitter, but we ended up getting this part for around $500, pretty much half off, and it really changed the whole look of the front end of this car. Next up is under the hood, where we can view the beautiful S55 3-liter inline-6 twin-turbo engine from BMW M. So we went ahead and tuned this bad boy to around 530 horsepower. This comes with 430 horsepower from stock, so pretty much up 100 horsepower from stock. With the burbles and the factory crackle map, it's nearly a factory BMW M4 GTS tune, and we paid about $600 just to get that tune. So next up is another one of my favorite modifications, which are these side reflectors. They originally come in orange from the factory, which is completely just out of place and ugly since there's no other orange on the car. So we went ahead and changed them for their clear reflector for only $30. Most people actually end up getting the paint match reflectors, so you can get reflectors that literally painted the same color as your car, and it looks like there is no reflector there, except when you're up close. Kind of just see these, this black outline of the reflector. To me, it looks a little out of place. Paint match reflectors usually cost anywhere from $100 to $200 just for painted reflectors. So I figured we'd save some money in this department. And honestly, I think this looks better than a paint match. Still functional, also really looks good with the mineral white paint. So next up, we have the BD-F12 wheels from Black Diamond. The 19-inch wheels really wasn't doing it for me as far as filling up the wheel well and some of this gap right here. These wheels with this tire setup, which are 285, 35, 20 in the rear, really makes this car look more like a race car. Not only that, it fixes the issue with not being able to put down the traction with this car. The S55 is a very torquey motor, and the original 19-inch wheels aren't wide enough and they're not sticky enough to really put down the power, even with the Michelin Pilot Super Sports that I had on the car. I think the spoke design is reminiscent of the competition wheels from the OEM E92 M3, which is what this M4 replaced. These will cost you just north of $2,000 at $2,250 for this set of wheels. And that's without tires or any rubber on the car. So with tires, depending on if you're going cheap or expensive, you can add anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 just for tires. So just to get this wheel setup on this car, going from 19-inch wheels, which is what this car, you can expect to pay at least $3,000, maybe even $3,500 for this specific set of wheels. From there, we have this functional air vent that sucks air through the wheel well and comes right out this side grille for extra aerodynamic. This side fin right here was originally chrome, and you can change that to gloss black for about $150. Next, we have one of the most beautiful set of mirrors I've seen on any M car or any BMW or any car for that matter. And these were originally mineral white, and I was going to keep them mineral white just because I like the pearl paint so much on this car, but over time I felt like switching it up, and we went ahead and paid $300 to get these carbon fiber mirror caps, obviously without installation. And from the mirrors, we also have carbon fiber side skirts, which are obviously on both sides of the car, and that cost us around $450. This was one of the most crucial mods, I would say, as far as the body kit and making this car appear lower and more aggressive. That paired with the front splitter and the rear diffuser, which we'll get to in a second, and overall completed the look of this car. So when we first bought this car, we didn't have any window tint, so we went ahead and added 20% window tint to really tie in all the black accents and the carbon fiber accents together. And we did the back window, the side windows. So as you can see, we did not do the front windshield tint just because the interior is black, and especially if you step back, it all looks blacked out anyway. But more importantly, you can see the one-piece beautiful BMW seats with that M badge that lights up at night right below the headrest, and it looks really good. So altogether, the tint itself and installing it at a local shop up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, it cost me around $400 total to get this car tinted. Next up, we have the carbon fiber M4 CS inspired spoiler from RW Carbon. This specific spoiler costs about $450. That's pre-installation. You can definitely get cheaper spoilers, especially if you go non-carbon fiber route, but I really like the look of this. And shout out to my dad, he actually got this as a present for me. I really think that high ducktail just gives this car a much more aggressive rear end. And for $450, I don't think you can get better than this as far as an aggressive look without going with that GTS style wing. And then from there, we have the gloss black M4 badge, which was $30 from ECS Tuning, along with the reflectors, probably one of the cheapest mods on this car. And then from there, we have the beautiful M4 GTS taillight from West Coast Euros. These taillights are actually on sale right now for just under $600, around $589. So if you guys are looking to get these taillights for a really good deal, now is definitely the time. I'll leave the links in the description. The original taillights just weren't doing it for me. They really had the car looking dated. I think this was the most substantial mod as far as making the car look more modern and tying all the modifications together. It makes it look a little bit more exotic. Oh my God, look at the car from this angle. That's insane with the rear wheel, the mineral white busting, that spoiler. But if we come down low, this diffuser right here was from AA Concepts Co. I purchased this for just under $600. I believe it was around $550 just for this diffuser alone. This diffuser has the LED brake light in the middle, which is also carbon fiber. You can definitely get cheaper diffusers in the market. Around $300 you can expect to pay for just a regular carbon fiber diffuser. But those typically don't extend as far out as this one does. They pretty much end here, just like the OEM one. So I want to go for that full aggressive look. I think this diffuser was my favorite diffuser on the market, not only back then when I bought it, but even now today, I think this one looks the best. This is probably the modification I will recommend the most. It is an AWE track exhaust, cat back, full straight pipe system, and it really turns this car into an aggressive monster. So as you can hear, this exhaust really changed the game with this car. And having owned this car for 2.5 years, this is probably my favorite mod, is the exhaust. Just because this car's stock was so quiet and so tame and kind of sounded like a blender. I think this exhaust really opens up that deep, throaty, raspy inline-six twin-turbo sound, especially with the crackles and the pops from the tune. With the carbon fiber exhaust tips, because you can opt for just the stainless steel, and they have other options as well. This specific exhaust system was around $2,200, but after installation, you're looking at closer to $2,500, depending on who you take the car to get it installed. So I would say parts and labor for a full catback exhaust will cost you about $2,500 for the F82. So now we're on the inside of the car, so we can check out the few modifications we did in here, starting with the Carbontastic LED steering wheel. So if you guys aren't familiar with Carbontastic, they offer full customizable steering wheel. The wheel I decided to customize, we went with the flat bottom, carbon fiber on the top. Also, we went with carbon fiber on the bottom towards the flat bottom. We went with the carbon fiber OEM and performance trim piece in the center, and we even went with the carbon fiber inner trim piece as well. In addition, we have Alcantara hand grips on the side for more grip, with the M colored stitching to match the rest of the car. And on top of that, we have the extended carbon fiber paddle shifters, which give you a lot more surface area for shifting. And lastly, we have the LED race display with the shift light that flash red at you and tell you when to shift. So if we rev the car, so it's hard to pick which mod is my favorite, but this is definitely up there, man. Just because I'm touching this the most when driving, it's the most personal modification to the car, and I also customize it to my liking. And also you get those shift lights. It just, especially at night, really brings a whole vibe to the car. If you want to get the exact same wheel as me, it will cost you close to $2,000, maybe $1,800 to $2,000. We're gonna round up, so it'll cost you around $2,000 to get the same exact wheel from Carbontastic. And then from there, as you saw in the last video, we went ahead and did the M Performance carbon fiber shift knob. So this piece right here is separate from this piece. So this piece alone will be about $200. And the bottom piece, if you want to get the OEM factory and performance one, which also has Alcantara around the sides of it, that's going to run you about $150, sometimes $200. But we went ahead and went with the aftermarket surround, save a little bit of money, and we got this one for around 100 even. So for just the shift knob and the shift surround, you're looking at around $300. If you want to get the OEM, you're looking at $350 to $400 for just both. And that is it as far as modifications go. I hope you guys found this video helpful. So as we get a drum roll and we add all those numbers up together with all the modifications on this car, you're looking at around $11,000 just for this build alone. So if you want to buy an M4 and you want to get the exact same modifications as I did, you're looking at spending around $11,000, north of $10,000 just for this build. I'm super grateful because we didn't end up spending that. We actually had a lot of these parts sponsored, so huge shout out to AWE Tuning, Alpine Motorsport, Carbontastic, West Coast Euros, and Black Diamond Wheels for those beautiful 20-inch wheels. We're not done with today's video quite yet. We're actually gonna head to a quick car meet with this thing. A lot of German cars, a lot of BMW M cars, a lot of Porsche, just a lot of proper cars for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and stick around. We're gonna head up to the meet and see what kind of cars are there. So as you can see, we got the M4 parked up, looking good. We're out here at Morning Service Coffee Club. We're checking out this BMW versus Porsche meet. We're here with Chanel. We're gonna walk around a bit and check out some of these cars. And a sea of Porsches and BMWs. You got the lone AMG right here, which is actually really clean with some BBS wheels on it. Blue with the gold, the dish right there as well. It looks nice. I really like these C63S's. And also check out this right-hand drive. It's R32. Check out this Corvette. Straight camming. Sounds really good. See a lot of these back home in Michigan. Then you got a clean R32, R33 GTR. Little tiny Honda next to a beautiful E92. We can really see how small this thing is. I don't think I've ever seen this car in my life. That's pretty cool. Then we walk in the gates. We got more and more cars just parked up. And check out the Phoenix yellow on this E46 M3. We really need to get one of these cars at some point. We have yet to own one. I think that would be a cool project to work on. Check out the pair of these M2s, a white one and a looks like an M2 CS. You can see this one has all the aero done, pretty much built for the track. You can also see the gold wheels on this blue one. Appears to be the CS. Really clean. Which one you guys? Oh, they're both the CS. Yeah, I'm taking that one for sure. And then we have an 8 Series right there, which is classic, an E34. So the old schools are definitely showing up back in this corner. Right here we have Morning Service Coffee, which is a nice vibe, cactus, and pleasingly aesthetic place. Appears to be a green GT3 RS. RWB wide body 911 as well. Really like the color on this. This M4, really interesting wrap, really cool spec on it. The color on this GT4, not to mention the wheels, the 918 seats, the carbon, the wing, but when you put everything together on this car, this is probably one of my favorite cars here. Continuing onward, another clean Porsche GT2 or old school GT3. They have another RWB. This one's a drop top in the white spec, white and black plaid seats. How cool is that? Think about this right here. RWB. And then we have, appears to be AA concept code Anthony, I believe. G82 M4 with the new Adro front end. So we've seen this front end before. Let me know what you guys think. You think it's an improvement? You can see that orange interior with the blue roll cage. I really like the spec. Colors seem to blend really well. He's also AWE gang. And then we have a couple of M4 GTSs. So not only do we have this white one, but we have the boy Kevin's right here. And this is not a wrap, this is paint, by the way, factory color. Gorgeous car. And then this supercharged is a chrome with IPE exhaust, E92 M3. I like this a lot. BBS wheels. So much carbon on the interior. Look at the seats. It's like the Solo Lambo pulled up. Murcielago, some BBS wheels on it. That's a good looking spec. Look at the cleanliness on this E92 M3. Check out the original E28 M5. Damn, so we got the M4 parked up with quite the lineup. M4 GTS, G80, my M4, another F80, M3 in red, which is really nice. Then we see that new front end on this G82, chromed out M3 E92, those KGs, M4 GTS, M4 drop top as well, and then we have a nice M2 that joins as well. So